How's it going, good friends? Brian from Apex Detail. I'm excited to bring you a brand new series on paint correction. This time we're going to concentrate on pads. The last series, the Seriously Swirled Mercedes, we concentrated on polishers the most. I did throw in a lot of other nuggets, and I will during this series as well. But we're going to concentrate on pads used to take care of trash clear coat. We have a Corvette, moderate to hard clear coat, sometimes stubborn. It's rare on a Corvette. They mainly only need an enhancement or a one-step, but this one here really needs our help. It's trashed. We're going to cover that today, and I'll show you the pads needed to take care of this. We have series upcoming that will cover pads to take care of moderate clear coat, then soft, really soft clear coat. And then we'll take care of the liquids, the compounds to take care of hard, and then moderate, and then soft clear coats. And then we can take care of finishing products for these projects. We have a lot of work and series and projects coming up, and I will throw you as many tips, as many nuggets, as much information during the whole series as possible to keep it entertaining, to keep it educational. And if you have any questions at all, that's what the comment section is for, guys. Let me have it. I mostly check the comments and questions in the last few videos. It's impossible for me to go back 700 videos and check comments. I would never get any work done. So if you have questions, leave them in the latest or the last few videos, please, and I will get back to you. We have a lot of work to do. Let's get this going. This project, a 99 C5 Corvette Hunter Green Metallic, and as you can see, the finish has a lot of imperfections, stains, etching, rids, scratches, swirls, whatever it is, you name it, we're going to remove it. And as we have concentrated more on polishers in the last series, this series here, we're going to concentrate more on pads. And what type of pads work best on this type of finish? Moderate to hard, stubborn clear coat. And for each panel, I'm going to try a different pad and show you how it reacts to this finish. And that should help you. If you get a car in, with this type of clear coat, you can come back and use this as a reference to help you out. I've been asked to get footage of every single step for the process, and I will honor that for you guys. So let's start from the beginning, and that's the wash process. Having fought vigorously for a permit for runoff that I can actually use water, a pressure washer and a hose, we're going to use that method now that we can. Traffic film remover is first. You can use just about anything. I have the Ultra Tough Cleaner cut 5:1 in my Marilex foamer. By the way, the Marilex foamers will be available here in the States towards the end of this month, and I will provide a link and have a dedicated video later in the month. So let's get the traffic film remover on here first. We spray it on. We're going to let it soak for 60 seconds. Well, it's really as long as you can get away with outside in the sun, direct sunlight and heat. After a few minutes, do a thorough rinse from top to bottom. That will get rid of any real loose, larger grit that could be on the top surface of the car. Blow that free, blow it off the car. You don't want that to get in between the wash media and the clear coat itself. You're just going to add more work to your correction. And I can get the wash media and the shampoos ready. For this one here, I'll use Adams Car Wash. The last one I used, Angel Wax, I used Adams too, and I use Poor Boys and quite a few others. Just like the polishers, just like the pads, and just like the compounds, I like to switch things up to keep it fresh. Use something new every time. It really gives you a nice, refreshing outlook on the correction, keeps you involved, keeps your head in the game. So we're going to get everything set up, the wash bucket. We're going to get the foam cannon set up here in just a few short seconds. This stuff here is rather viscous, plenty of lubrication, a lot of suds. You can see the ribbons settling to the bottom of the bucket here. We're going to use Poor Boys, Super Slick, and suds. This stuff is super slick. I only put a half ounce to an ounce depending on how bad the car is. You can add an ounce or two if you want the real thick shaving cream suds. You know, I don't really care about that. All I care about is lubrication, and this stuff is fantastic for that. I love it in a contact wash bucket as well. So I'm going to do a pre-foam or a pre-treat where I foam the whole vehicle. I'll let it sit as long as I can get away with. You know, even if it does start to dry up on the pan a little bit, no worries. It does reactivate as you hit it with the pressure washer. This gives me plenty of time to go around with a soft detailing brush and start to work out a lot of that wax and sealant and dirt that is stuck between the emblems and the trim and the cracks and the crevices. Usually when I'm done messing around with that, it's time to give it a thorough rinse. We're at the limit before the soap really starts to dry on the car. So again, a thorough rinse from top to bottom. This here is rinsing free all of the dirt that the shampoo or the pre-treat here has lifted and emulsified. Again, so it doesn't get wedged in between the wash media and the clear, causing scratches or marring. Not only is this great for cars that I'm just about to work on, not to cause any more damage, but this is a great way to maintain your car and not put any marring or love marks on it after it's been corrected and protected as well. Time for the contact wash, and to do that I'm going to refoam it with the Super Slick and Suds. As I mentioned, the slickness in this product cannot be matched, and just with a half ounce in there we're going to refoam that. That'll give me a lot of lubrication. I'm going to let that sit again for a couple minutes before I start the contact wash. I have 5 wash mitts in the bucket ready to go. I have the second bucket. That's where the wash mitts will go one by one as I use them and disperse of them to wash, clean later, and dry, tumble dry, all on cool to keep those mitts in tip-top pristine shape. 1 mitt per section, one for the top of the car, one for the side, one for the other side, one for the front, one for the back. Put them in the bucket one by one. That ensures you're not introducing any type of dirt and grit picked up from the car back into the wash solution. You'll be surprised how that cuts down on love marks and marring. I have a dedicated video on wash media, all the wash mitts, and I have 5 different ones in the bucket here, including the 10x10 Cyclone I'm using now. That one holds a ton of product, almost a gallon of water and wash solution. It's a good one on larger panels. There are smaller ones. I do have a smaller one in there from Luxury Microfiber. I also have the Chenille noodles, the Pearl Chenille, which happens to be one of my favorite, and they all work fantastic. This one here is the Pearl Chenille, one of my favorites, and you can pick that up at Advanced Auto Parts. After you're finished, you grab the pressure washer, give it a thorough rinse, once again from top to bottom. And finally, the last little mitt in there will be the Chenille hand mitt for wheels. That's what I use it for. The wheels have already been thoroughly cleaned with dedicated tools. I did that off camera because we covered wheels and tires pretty much within the last week. So I'm just going over them again just in case I missed anything behind the spokes. Okay, when it comes to drying, I use the leaf blower as much as I can with both cars that are just coming into the shop and for the cars I maintain that have already been corrected. The least amount of contact you make to the car, hey, there's cuts down on chances of swirling and marring because besides what people say, ceramic coatings are not impervious to scratching. They make it a little bit harder to get scratches in there, bumping the hardness of the clear from 3H, which is the hardness of clear on the pencil scale, up to 9H, 10H, 7H, depending on what coating you're using. So yes, they do make it harder to mar and scratch, but they are not impervious. That is a myth. Anything left over, I'll just quick go over it with the Sucker Junior here. All right, we're now dry, but we're not completely done with the cleaning process. It's been washed, but the wash process doesn't take care of everything. We have some used wax and sealant in the corners. We have to clay it yet. We have to decontaminate it with an iron remover. We want to get this paint as pristine as my C4 over here. It's old, it's a classic, but it's pretty much darn near perfect except for a couple cracks on the fiberglass. Those will stay. Let's do a little bit of claying, and when I talk about claying, I only do it where and if needed. If I don't feel anything, it's not going to get clayed because that's going to add to my polishing. Clay, doesn't matter if it's mild, medium, or coarse, will mar the paint. You'll see a lot of detailers go to the iron remover next. I like to remove the bonded contaminants so the iron remover can actually reach the embedded ferrous metals. So that's what I'm going to do, my own method and my own order. And for that, I'll be using SB3 Decon. I've covered that process in a dedicated video explaining exactly how they work and what they are, so let's jump to the next step, which will be removing old waxes and sealants that could still be remaining, and I'll use jade for that process. Removing as much as that as you can is important when you start the correction process. Any waxes or sealants that still remain will get up into the fibers of the pad, will clog it, make them less effective. You have to clean it out more, and it's just extra work. All right, now we're going to lay our tools out on the table for the next process, the next part of the cleaning process. These are brushes. This here you can cut short or you can tape down towards the end of the bristles to make it a little bit stiffer. The bristles are soft. And then you have other Q-tips and swabs and all kinds of stuff. And this is what we're going to be using them for with Angel Wax Strip Ease. We're going to take care of all the wax and sealant buildup in the corners at the edges of the PPF. And we're first going to bring up, this tool here is actually used for touch-up, but is perfect for the edges, cleaning the edges of PPF without damaging or lifting it. Very soft, has little tiny soft bristles at the end. You can see how effective it is here digging dirt out of those little corners. Another great tool for in the seams or in the corners are the multi-purpose cotton applicators. We also have the ordinary detailing swabs. These are expensive. I'll clean these out and use them as many times as I can, probably until they tear because they are so expensive. If I really come to some stubborn wax or sealant, this is going to be my last resort. The bristles are soft. You have to watch what type of brush you use. But, you know, cutting it short or putting tape down towards the end of the bristle will make it a little bit more aggressive. Time to tape. Time to do some masking because we want to protect some areas here. The seams, the seals, the edge of the PPF. I'm going to show you as we go how I tape edges so you guys can stay out of trouble while you're correcting, and also keep correction dust out from in between the corners and add extra work for you. My favorite for this type of job is the 3M Precision Masking Tape. This is the wintergreen color, and it's a low-profile tape. And your pad can cross over the top of it while you're correcting without lifting an edge, getting adhesive on your pad. The roll is a little salty, yes, but it's a little bit more of a pain, and it's worth the price not getting adhesive on your pad. So when you're taping, guys, you don't have to tape and overthink it and use a ton of time like you're taping up to spray your car. Do it briskly, yet a little bit carefully, and get it done. Move on to the next task. All you're doing is protecting said seal or emblem or trim. This emblem here has probably about 20 different angles, and even with the thicker tape here, you can get the thinner 1/4 inch roll as well. I could still get around it rather quickly. Protecting edges and peaks and points are the most important parts of the emblems and the trim. And if you have parking lights that protrude out, protect them as well from backing plates or pads that could bump up against them and damage them. Not only is the adhesive fantastic on the 3M Precision, but it's a little pliable as well, so you can go around corners, and even the 3/4 inch tape here, you can sort of, you know, make your own designs. You can go around curves, and as you can see here, the PPF curves down around the side of the mirror, and I can just follow that, stretch it, and make it work and cover. We have a lot of the taping done. Not all of it will be done at one shot here at the beginning. We will tape as we go, and I'll show you how to protect yourself on the edges while you're correcting and keep compound residue from falling down in between the cracks as well. That's going to do it for this video. In the next one, we'll pull out some pads and we'll get a test area going on the hood here. This is the first video of a multi-video series. I hope this helps you guys a lot, and I will give you as much information as I can. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.